Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 2021 Undergraduate Research Awards. Please welcome the Director of Undergraduate Advising and Research, Margaret Fennell.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2021 Undergraduate Research Awards at Dartmouth College. We are delighted to be here today to celebrate the research, scholarship, and creativity of Dartmouth students. The work produced by our students is impressive in any year, but even more so this past year because of all the obstacles they've had to overcome to accomplish their projects. Research labs were shut down, travel was prohibited, campus access was restricted, meetings with faculty mentors were virtual rather than in person. But in spite of all of this, the students persevered and went on to excel. So this next hour honors not only the students named specifically, but also the entire undergraduate student body who remained committed to and engaged in research and learning in the face of all of these difficulties. Our first set of accolades go to both the graduating and recently selected STAMP scholars. Here to introduce the program and announce the scholars is Professor Christy Harner, Assistant Dean of Faculty for Fellowship Advising, Senior Lecturer in English, and Faculty Director of the Dartmouth STAMP Scholars Program.
Beginning with the STAMP Scholars Program, this program funds 2 years of extraordinary educational experiences for Dartmouth undergraduates. The graduating seniors applied as sophomores, formulating an extensive independent project that they carried out for 2 years. They worked with faculty mentors as they made strategic research and development decisions, planning trips, working with code, participating in internships, and pivoting as necessary when the pandemic changed their plans. We are proud to celebrate their accomplishments and the amazing work they have produced. The graduating STAMP scholars this year include Christopher Cheng, working on a project titled My Pillbox, a voice-activated medication adherence tool for geriatric patients. Amy Hu, working on a project titled China's Real-Time Payment System as a model for empowering low-income consumers in America. Rachel Kent, whose project is titled Ethnographic Research of Small-Scale Farmers Through Experiences with Woofing. Yaqub Khan, whose project is titled Mobile App Facilitating Meals Together to Combat Loneliness on College Campuses. Michael McGovern, working on a project titled Species Preservation of Sumatran Tigers Through Ecological Economic Study. Amina Razak, working on a project titled Women's Health in the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asian Manasa regions. Rashna Shah, working on a project titled Developing the Youthquake Curriculum in Chicago Area Schools, and Paige Zhu, working on a project titled Ecotourism in China's Honghe Prefecture. We are also excited to announce the 8 incoming STAMP scholars, 23s who have been selected for the program. They represent an impressive range of fields and interdisciplinary approaches for knowledge, and we are excited to see where their work goes over the next 2 years. Those students who are newly selected as STAMP scholars include Spencer Allen, whose project is titled Investigating the Role Communication Plays in the Spread of COVID-19. Amanda Calhoun, working on a project titled Biogenicity of Stromatolites, Experimentation and Computational Analysis of Biosedimentary Structures. Jesse Ferraioli, whose project is titled Water Ethics, the Valuation and Governance of Indigenous Water Resources in North America. Emily Hester, whose project is titled Cold War Public Diplomacy, the Analysis of US and USSR Government-Sponsored Informational Films and Newsreels. Catherine Lassonde, whose project is titled Quanta Image Sensor, the Future of Single Photon Detection. Nicholas Mancini, working on a project titled The Environmental Factors That Influence ESA Candidate Species Listing Decisions. Theodore Press, whose project is titled Medicinal Chemistry, Studying SOD1's Link to ALS, Dementia, and Alzheimer's with ITC. V. Tran, whose project is titled Leveraging Technology to Increase Financial Literacy Among Low-Income Adults. Ananya Vadya, working on a project titled Taking the Black Pill, Studying the Creation of the Incel, and Daniel Westfall, whose project is titled A Statistical Analysis of Microburst Dependence on Whistler Mode Chorus Wave Activity.
So thank you, Professor Harner, and congratulations to all the stamped scholars. Next on the program are the scholars that are supported through Dartmouth's Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship Program. Here to share the mission of the program and to celebrate the graduating fellows is Dr. Sarah Cheney, Associate Coordinator for the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship Program.
The Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship Program, supported by the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, aims to increase faculty diversity in U.S. colleges and universities. Dartmouth extends its commitment to these objectives by also sponsoring an Associate Fellows program supported by the Dean of Faculty and Provost. All fellows spend 2 years on research and other programming to prepare for doctoral degrees and academic careers. We are proud to honor this year's graduating Mellon Undergraduate Fellows. Jasmine Butler, Geography, for Mississippi Memory, Coerced Labor, Black Southern Geographies, and the 1927 Mississippi River Floods. Nyla Dixon, Sociology and AAAS, for the experiences of misdiagnosed Black students with learning disabilities in college. Tia Folgerator, Native American Studies, for visual sovereignty and contemporary resistance to colonial ecocide in the Navajo Nation. Jordan McDonald, History Modified with English and Creative Writing, Art History and AAAS, for Trust and Believe, The Black Indoors, Popular Skepticism, and the Critical Inheritance of the House Slave. Sydney Wen, Anthropology and Native American Studies, for Where We Go to Continue, Building a Nation and Future through Kumeyaay, Bird Singing and Dancing. Karen Valenzuela Bermudez, Lilacs, for Building Houston, Texas, a look at Latinx construction labor, immigration, and safety. Ezekiel Vergara, Government and Philosophy, for Just and Unjust Revolutions, a theoretical examination of the ethics of revolutions. And Alexander Worden, Theater, for Bull Rusher, a radio play performance. Congratulations.
So thank you, Professor Cheney. That is an impressive set of projects and a really accomplished group of scholars. Up next is a celebration of another group of very dedicated scholars who are part of the EE Just program. And this program is designed to increase the number of Dartmouth students from underrepresented groups who plan to enter a doctoral program in a STEM field after graduation. So announcing both the graduating EE Just Fellows and the 2020 EE Just Summer Interns is Professor Craig Sutton, Associate Professor of Mathematics and the Director of the EE Just program.
Named after Ernest Everett Just, a Dartmouth valedictorian and pioneering American cell biologist, the EE Just program is a signature effort to increase the number of systemically excluded minorities who choose to pursue degrees and careers in STEM. This is achieved by creating an inclusive and vertically integrated community of undergraduates, graduate students, postdocs, and faculty who are committed to each other's mutual success and well-being. And the program, which has been run as a pilot, has recently been transformed into an enduring force for change by a generous gift from Eileen and John Donahoe. Established in 2018, the EE Just Undergraduate Fellowship is a 2-year fellowship held during their junior and senior years, designed to increase the number of underrepresented minorities at Dartmouth who choose to enter a doctoral program in STEM fields after graduation. New fellows are selected each spring by a faculty committee. This year's graduating fellows are Cara Chamberlain, Ashley Francisco, Michael Green, and Priscilla Minka. The EE Just Summer Internship allows Dartmouth students committed to the mission of the EE Just program to conduct full-time research for a term under the supervision of a Dartmouth faculty member or with scientists based at a partner institution, such as the Marine Biological Laboratory at Woods Hole. These hands-on experiences are intended to deepen the student's interest in majoring in a STEM discipline and encourage the pursuit of a career in STEM-related field or industry. This past year's EE Just Summer interns were Daniel Abate, Lydia Davis, John Adiogu, and Isabel Wilson. Other fellows include Chase Alvarado Anderson, Joanna Lame, Kuziva Madwire, and Amina Zoklat. And to our graduating seniors, I wish them the very best of success in their future endeavors.
So thank you so much, Professor Sutton, and congratulations to all of those students who are so committed to the legacy of EE Just. So as you've heard so far, students at Dartmouth engage in this really impressive array of research projects, but really that's just the first step. Communicating research is an ongoing challenge for students, for faculty, and anyone else who is engaged in the creation of knowledge. One of the powerful mediums for educating and engaging audiences in creative ways is video. So for the third year, students were invited to submit entries to the MAD Research, and MAD stands for Made at Dartmouth. So the MAD Research Video Competition. This is a joint venture of Undergraduate Advising and Research and the Jones Media Center at Baker Berry Library. Being one of the judges for this competition is one of the highlights of spring term for me. And here to announce this year's winners is Susan Simon, who's a media learning technologist at Jones Media Center, and she is also one of the judges for the competition.
The MAD, or Made at Dartmouth Research Video Competition, is a joint project of the Office of Undergraduate Advising and Research and Dartmouth Library's Jones Media Center and Baker Berry Library. Students at Dartmouth are doing research in every academic discipline, from the sciences and social sciences to the humanities and creative arts. The MAD video competition gives students the opportunity to communicate their research to a broader audience. The competition is open to all Dartmouth undergraduates who are engaged in faculty-mentored research outside the classroom, and the videos must be 3 minutes or less. Our first award goes to 2 first-year students working with environmental studies professor Teresa Ong. This project is focused on agroforestry, regenerative food systems, and creating a global forest database at the Dartmouth Organic Farm. The winners of this year's People's Choice Award are Ashley Laveriano and Ivan Takamani Hernandez for their video, The Dartmouth Agroforestry Project. Congratulations to both of them. And as a side note, their video has the best opening shot of all the video entries, so I encourage all of you to check it out.
Hi, I'm Ashley and this is Yvonne.
Hi.
And we work at the Dartmouth Organic Farm.
As researchers, we're supervised by Professor Ong and Alama.
The Ong Lab deals with agroforestry, which are agricultural systems that incorporate trees as crop, shade, or border elements. Agroforestry uses native flora, such as trees and shrubs, to rejuvenate soil health, store carbon, improve biodiversity, and reduce the use of pesticides and herbicides.
Our next award goes to a member of the class of 23 who is working with engineering professor Jiwon Lee on identifying protective antibodies against influenza and designing more effective influenza vaccines. The winner of this year's Best Animation Award is Maya Madison for her video, Hijacking Viral Immune Evasions to Design More Effective Vaccines. Vaccines are a major topic of conversation these days, and if you aren't sure how they work, check out Maya's video.
Antibodies bind to specific regions on the antigen. Here, the pink antibody will bind to the pink region. To block the antibody from binding, the antigen can mutate. One way the antigen mutates is to add a sugar, known as a glycan, to its surface. Then, the antibody can't bind. The influenza antigen has many of these glycans on its surface. Over time, the antigen has mutated to cover different regions. These changes allow the virus to evade your immune system because antibodies that bind one form of the antigen will be blocked from binding to another. This is why you must get a new flu shot every flu season.
Our next award goes to a member of the class of 23 who is working with cognitive science professor Jonathan Phillips on the concept of theory of mind, which is how we understand the mental states of others. The winner of this year's Best Research Narrative Award is Stephen Shin for his video, Do You See What I See? He uses great graphics and a clear narrative to explain the concept of theory of mind, as well as the controversies about how to measure it. Science communication is becoming increasingly important, and Stephen's video is a model for how to communicate complex concepts in an engaging and comprehensible way.
Some argued that experimental subjects weren't actually responding to what the character could see, but only where the character was pointing. And in the following decades, dozens of experiments have tried to figure out whether the dot perspective task really taps implicit theory of mind, or whether the whole thing can be chalked up to directional cueing. While some researchers remain skeptical, others firmly believe that the task taps theory of mind and have begun to use it as a tool to ground further research.
In addition to these special categories of prizes, there's also a grand prize for the best overall video. It's always a difficult decision since the video entries are so good and also so different from each other. For this year, the committee awarded a grand prize as well as a runner-up. Second place in the MAD Research Video Competition goes to Lauren Dorsey, class of 22, for her video, Powering 18th Century Maps with Interactive GIS. She is working with art history professor Nick Camerlingi to apply geographic information system mapping, or GIS, to an incredibly detailed 18th century map of Rome. The result is an online map where anyone can click on interactive links to get details about buildings, even buildings that no longer exist. I encourage everyone to watch her video and to check out the open source website and wander through ancient Rome.
The Noli Map Engine, or interactive Noli website, is the result of the efforts of a team of researchers, cartographers, and historians who use GIS to create an interactive, responsive, open educational resource for researchers and students alike, while still preserving the map's astronomical level of detail. My role in the production of the map included assisting the research and configuration of the historical information that accompanies each of the 1,320 sites, ranging from context to sketches, a component that is especially important as many of these buildings have long since disappeared, and quite a few of them are only known from their inclusion in Noli's original etching.
And finally, the grand prize goes to Aditya Prasad, class of 21, for his video, Physically Based Rendering Techniques to Visualize Thin Film Simulations. Aditya worked with computer science professor Bo Zhu on this project. In Aditya's words, the video runs through the mathematical background of why bubbles look so beautiful. If you never thought of bubbles as beautiful, then you definitely need to watch this video.
For centuries, humans have been fascinated by the beauty of bubbles and foam. The way these fluid phenomena move, evolve, and look have us mesmerized. In fact, artists, painters, photographers have all strived to capture the intricate patterns and vibrant colors that develop on the surface of bubbles. As a student of computer graphics, I wanted to recreate the physical beauty of bubbles in a realistic manner and create some beautiful images.
Congratulations to Aditya and to all of the 2021 MAD Research Video Award winners. To see all of the award-winning videos in full, check them out on the Celebration of Undergraduate Research, Scholarship, and Creativity Canvas site. They will also be posted on the MAD Research Video Competition page on the UGAR website later this week.
So thank you, Susan, and thank you for making those short clips of the winning videos. And for everybody watching, I hope the clips piqued your interest, and I encourage you all to watch the winning videos, which will be posted on the Canvas site and the website. So switching gears a bit here, many Dartmouth students compete for and receive undergraduate and postgraduate fellowships, which allows them to explore areas of scholarships much more deeply than classroom experience might allow. So to introduce the many winners of this past year, we bring back Professor Christy Harner, Senior Lecturer in English and Assistant Dean of Faculty for Fellowship Advising.
As the Assistant Dean for Fellowship Advising, I am excited to work with current students and alumni as they apply for national fellowships, both at the undergraduate level and at the graduate level. We'll begin this section with National Undergraduate Fellowships awarded to current sophomores or juniors in nationwide selection processes. I will then recognize students who have received National Graduate Fellowships applying as seniors or alumni, and then students who have received fellowships from the college itself, from one of Dartmouth's endowed fellowships. The Beinecke Scholarship awarded to current juniors provides funding to support the graduate education of exceptionally promising students in the arts, humanities, and social sciences. We are thrilled that the selection committee recognized Mariana Penaloza Morales for her work in geography and Lusophone studies. The Goldwater Scholarship, a federally funded fellowship for sophomores and juniors in STEM fields, had 2 Dartmouth recipients this year: Carolina Guerrero, a 23, focusing on biological chemistry, and Ian Steele, 22, studying astronomy and space medicine. The Truman Scholarship recognizes college juniors with exceptional leadership potential who are committed to careers in government or public service. We are honored to have a recipient this year, Dewani Carell, a 22, majoring in government. The Udall Scholarship recognizes students committed to work in environmental studies, Indigenous healthcare, or tribal public policy. Kelly Adair Holmes, 22, received an honorable mention for her work with Native American health. Fellowship Advising is also honored to work with applicants for National Graduate Fellowships awarded to current seniors or alumni in national and sometimes international competitions. Joseph Januszewicz, 21, received a Yenching Scholarship for study at Peking University in China. 6 current students and alumni, Megan Klein, Nia Gooding, Alexandria Hawley, Rachel Kent, Sunny Tang, and Alexander Song, received Fulbright scholarships for research or study overseas. In what was an incredibly competitive year, we are thrilled for their successes. Stephen Valeri, a master's student in comparative literature, received the Dodd Scholarship for study in Munich, Germany next year. We are also excited to recognize the current students and alumni who received research fellowships from the National Science Foundation. That includes Aldo Arellano, Matthew Bossart, Erica Bush, Catherine Clayton, Caroline Filan, Lily Hannig, Lisa Je, Hannah Margolis, Emily Morris, Ayubami Aganmulasuhi, Casey Ree, Clara Sava Segal, Nirja Thakar, and Katie Mai Ann Trin. 9 current students and alumni also received honorable mentions from the NSF. That includes Colin Backstrom, Georgiana Benedetto, Ethan Blackwood, Anna Colon, Genevieve Goebel, Catherine Holland, Ryan Hyun, Jin Shin, and Island Soto. In addition to supporting national fellowship competitions, Fellowship Advising also works with applicants for Dartmouth's endowed postgraduate fellowships. We are proud to recognize their work. The Richard Crawford Campbell Jr. 1921 Memorial Fellowship is awarded to students who are graduates of the English department or pursuing graduate studies in English. This year, the Campbell was awarded to Betty Kim, Carly Schnitzler, and Kelsey Sipol. The James K. Colby 1838 Memorial Fellowship recognizes students who intend to teach law or political science or to enter public service. This year, the Colby was awarded to Patricia Bajulsik, Michael Everett, Gun Lim, and Amina Razak. The Paul L. 83 and Neil T. McGorian Fellowship embodies the spirit that motivated the lives of both McGorian brothers, a desire to learn about the world and to communicate that knowledge to other Americans, a passion for the truth, and the courage to face challenges. We're excited to award the McGorian Fellowship to Natalie Dameron for her forthcoming project in Scotland. The H. Allen Brooks Traveling Fellowship recognizes students committed to the pursuit of architecture, urban planning, land conservation, historic preservation, architectural and urban history, and/or art history through travel and contemplation. We are excited to award the Brooks Fellowship to Keisha Norana Badalj for her project with aging communities and architectural spaces. The James B. Reynolds Scholarship for Foreign Studies supports postgraduate study or research in any field in any foreign country in affiliation with a recognized educational institution. We are excited to recognize 6 students and alumni pursuing graduate degrees outside of the US. The 6 recipients are Leah Casey, Charlotte Evans, Adeze Nduguba, Natalie Steinman, Catherine Slaughter, and Cecilia Young. The Alfred K. Priest Fellowship supports Dartmouth College graduates who have demonstrated unusual promise, enabling them to pursue graduate study at Harvard University. This year, we selected 6 new recipients of the Priest beginning graduate studies at Harvard in the fall. The Priest recipients include Tara Birchmore, Selin Capan, Jonathan Diaconwa, Ashley Dotson, Daniela Garcia Estrella, and Ian Spears. The Dartmouth General Fellowships reward students who submit evidence of academic merit, as well as a well-conceived program of graduate study, independent research, or creative work. We have 4 recipients of the General Fellowship this year: Abigail Cameron, Allison Carey, Sayuri Thais Miyamoto Magnabosco, and Molly Ryan. Finally, we are excited to announce the recipients of the Dartmouth Senior Law Prizes, awarded to graduating seniors who plan to pursue law school. This year, that includes Sophia Guan and Maria Harast, recipients of the Charles H. Woodbury Memorial Law Prize; Nicholas Bartlett, recipient of the Fred C. Scribner Jr. 1930 Fellowship; and Emmanuel Berleza, recipient of the Fred C. Scribner Jr. and James H. Hanlon Fund. Please join me in recognizing the successes of these students, stamped scholars, recipients of National Undergraduate and Graduate Fellowships, and recipients of Dartmouth Fellowships. We are excited to recognize their work and to see where they go in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Harner. The large number of award winners really is a testament to the intellectual curiosity and drive of Dartmouth students and alumni. It's an impressive group. So the final awards highlight the work of first-year women who are pursuing a path in the sciences. And to announce the winners of this year's Women in Science program, or WISP, those awards are being announced by Professor John Kuhl, the Rogers Professor of Chemistry and Dean of the Guarini School of Graduate and Advanced Studies.
Thank you, Margaret, and thanks to you and your colleagues for helping to make research a valuable part of the undergraduate experience. Spending time in labs with other scientists is a great way to foster scholastic growth and intellectual community building for any student. And for women drawn to the sciences, WISP interns usually get to experience 2 terms in an environment intentionally created to support academic exploration. Of course, this year was a challenge to faculty and students looking to engage in research in a laboratory setting. With first years off campus during winter term, the WISP team designed a new curriculum, moving to an entirely online platform. This shifted the start of faculty-led research to spring term, with students prepared with a broad range of new scientific skills and techniques. And all of our WISP students were fantastic, weathering these changes and persevering. Today, we celebrate them all as we spotlight a few. The Carol Folt Research Scholarship Award honors the dedication and significant contributions to the Women in Science Project by Carol Folt, former biology professor, dean of the faculty, and interim president of Dartmouth. She was one of the original faculty mentors in the WISP program, as well as a member of WISP's Faculty Advisory Committee. Carol was a steadfast supporter of WISP and dedicated mentor to young women in the sciences throughout her years at Dartmouth. The Carol Folt Research Scholarship Award for 2019-2020, which was deferred due to COVID, goes to Citlali Vergara, class of 23. Her project was entitled The Vulnerability of Soil Carbon to Climate Change. Her advisor is Professor Caitlin Hicks-Priest from the Department of Biological Sciences. The Barbara E. Krupp Memorial Internship honors the memory of Dartmouth biologist Dr. Barbara Krupp, who epitomized an ideal research scientist. Noted for her generosity, cooperative spirit, academic aptitude, and strong work ethic, she improved every laboratory in which she worked. She mentored WISP interns and guided numerous other undergraduates, graduate students, and postdoctoral fellows throughout her Dartmouth research career. This year's Barbara E. Croop Memorial Internship goes to Sophia Rubens, class of 24. Her project entitled Density Functional Theory Calculations on Flexible Polymer Moieties to Train a Machine Learning Algorithm. Her advisor is Professor Wenling Zhang from the Department of Chemistry. Thank you and congratulations to all the WISP students.
So thank you, Professor Kuhl, for announcing the winners and for being such a strong and consistent supporter of WISP. So that brings us to the end of this year's awards. Make sure and join us again online on Thursday, May 27th, 5 to 6 p.m. for the 2021 Karen E. Wetterhahn Symposium Keynote and Awards Program, featuring keynote speaker Dr. Mickey Hebel. So Mickey actually earned her PhD here at Dartmouth in psychology, and she is currently the Martha and Henry Malcolm Lovett Professor of Psychology and Management at Rice University. Mickey's work on diversity and discrimination is particularly relevant in current times. And also, as a side note, I knew Mickey from back when we were in grad school together, and I can pretty much guarantee that her talk will be engaging, interesting, and very high energy. And the program includes a Q&A session with Mickey after her talk, and also the announcement of the winners of the Christopher G. Reed competition for senior honors thesis students, as well as an award for library research in the sciences. So I'd like to close with a thank you to the team in undergraduate advising and research for their unending support of students and faculty in support of research. And I'd also like to thank the faculty and staff here at Dartmouth who energize and enrich the academic experience of our undergraduates. And lastly, I thank the students. Your hard work, enthusiasm, and drive make all of this possible, and we applaud you all. So thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing everyone next year, hopefully in person. Good night.